G'day, so this is just going to be a little bit of a intro video into my RC cars. So to kick it off, have a look at a little bit of action that I recorded yesterday down at my local track. So this is me practicing and crashing and just having a little bit of fun trying to get the hang of driving around this track. So I'm told that this track is quite technical, and if you can learn to drive on this track, you can pretty much drive anywhere. So I'm enjoying the process of learning to drive RC cars again, and quite enjoying it. So this is my buggy going around. It's Kyosho Lazer ZX6. The truck, which you'll see in a minute, is broken. But anyway. So this is me doing a few smooth laps around the track. I'm probably about 2 seconds plus off the pace, probably 2 to 3 seconds off the pace. So I don't expect to be the best. I just want to go out there and have a little bit of fun. So just enjoy. Okay, so this is my buggy, and so I kind of drove a buggy when I was younger, so I had the idea that the buggy was what I was sort of keen to get, and so I got the buggy, and I also bought a stadium truck. So here in Australia, the stadium trucks are very, very popular, and the buggies aren't as popular, but they're coming back. But by getting a couple of cars, if I break one, I can keep driving, and then I can sort of work out which one that I like driving the most. So at first, the truck was set up really, really nicely, and my truck, there's a reason why it wasn't being driven yesterday, is set up really, really nice. So the truck is a Kyosho SC6. So I chose Kyosho cars because I kind of going between Team Associated and Lossy, and then somewhere along the line I kind of remembered that I drove Kyosho cars, and I had a Lazer belt-driven four-wheel drive a long time ago, and I had a Ultima two-wheel drive car. And the two-wheel drive car I had actually got second in the Australian Championships. Not with me driving it, I bought it as like a second-hand car, and the Lazer car I had many, many years ago, I bought brand new. And I quite enjoyed driving the four-wheel drive buggy, so I got the four-wheel drive buggy. I thought, might as well get some Kyosho cars, and it's good having the same brand. There's a lot of interchangeable parts, just little bits and pieces, and that's it there. So this is my truck. This is the body. So I kind of painted the body. Where's the light? Here we go. And I used like a red marble effect to go around the edges. And I did the bonnet and the back. And I tried doing the same with the car, but it didn't really come out really good with the car. And I painted the windows a transparent red as well, just to keep the red theme. So what I'm finding is when the track has an automated misting system, that I lose sight of the cars when it starts getting dark. But yeah, so these are my cars. This is just a little bit of an intro. I might try and do a few videos on RC cars because I kind of enjoy it. And I'd like to try and do some videos to help people get back into it, because when I first got into it, I'm looking at stuff and I just couldn't quite work out how certain things went along. One of my biggest things was these wires. I'm looking at everyone's setups, and it doesn't look like there was any plugs or anything, and I couldn't work it out until I realised that the plugs itself go directly into the battery. So just for fun, I bought like a cheap set of scales off of eBay, just to see what my cars weigh, and it's kind of interesting to see what they sort of weigh. Like this battery, 200 grams. So I'm working on grams here because that's what I sort of know. $1,480. So 1,680 for the Kyosho buggy. So that seems to be pretty much on weight for that car, I think I'll have to check the limits. But this one here, let me chuck it on. So it's 1700 plus 270. So it's 1980. And then I got this body. So that's 2,180 grams. So with the larger batteries, it's about 80 grams over the minimum weight. So I kind of thought, well, with this battery it would be underweight, but with these batteries it's overweight. So I'm trying to work out what I can do to bring some weight to the rear end of the car and to bring the weight down a little bit. So I'm just kind of trying to work out what to do with the car and just have a play around with it. So I want the cars not to be the excuse of me losing the races. So for any reasons of losing the race should be me failing as a driver. But anyway, this is just a quick video just to talk about my RC cars. I'm really enjoying the RC cars and I want to get into it a little bit more and see how I go. Alright, so I thought that I would just give my cars just a little bit of a clean. So I just ordered some spare parts for the truck and I got some like wire brushes to get into bit like, you know, all the smaller areas to sort of be able to clean it. And I'm still trying to find the best stuff to use to clean the battery, the cars themselves. Just try and keep everything a bit of a clean. It's funny, I thought the clay would have made things more dirty, but the clay tracks are actually quite clean. So we run on a clay track, so we've got 2 indoor clay tracks here on the Gold Coast where I live, and they're quite good. One's a little bit bigger than the other. Give it a bit of a clean. I try and clean it as much as I can at the track, because at the track you sort of got like hoses and air compressors and everything sort of there ready to go. Some people leave their trucks and cars pretty dirty. Some people keep them spotless. So I've still got mud and stuff on my wing. Haven't really cleaned that off yet. The buggy I like because the body keeps everything sort of pretty clean. The wiring's a bit of a mess. I'm still trying to sort of work out how to get it. But you can see the wiring of the speed controller there. So the wiring of the speed controller and the motor is quite nice. So I spent a fair bit of time just making sure I got all of that right. Give it a bit of a clean. I strapped the timing MyLapse transponder to it yesterday for the first time, just to see what type of lap times I was getting. So I'm 2 or 3 seconds off the pace, which I'm not complaining about. Takes lots of laps. And it's also possible we'll have some state championship races at the track. Just waiting on who gets the approval for it. But it'd be nice if they are at the track, because then I can have a go and just, you know, not try and win, but just compete and have some fun. See how I go. I'm going to need to get a few laps going. So for durability, The truck has been sort of my favourite vehicle of choice for the last few practice sessions, and I've broken a number of things on the truck, and so I've been taking the buggy as my sort of default car to fall back to when the truck breaks. Not that the truck breaking is its own fault. There is one weakness in the truck, or a couple of little weaknesses, but I guess most of the damage has probably been me. But the last session that you were just watching just before is where I actually really got into driving the buggy, and I was kind of enjoying really driving the buggy quite a lot, like what I was sort of hoping for. Yeah, I was getting really into the buggy and just enjoying driving it. But it's also a lot easier driving a four-wheel drive car than a two-wheel drive. I'm not giving it like a big clean, just a bit of a clean. Let's pull that wing off. But I find the truck's quite fun, and I'm keen to have a go at actually racing. So I've done one racing before at the other track, and I enjoyed it. But I found that going to a race meeting when you're still learning is just not that beneficial, as you really need track time to get better. So I'm not worried about going back to any race meetings. I'm just focused on trying to go and get as many hours as I can driving the truck, both vehicles actually. So I spent a bit of time the other day on this, just going back and just cleaning all of the diff mounts, cleaning them and re-greasing them. Other than that, this car I bought as a second-hand car. Haven't done any maintenance work to it at all. Just put the electrics in it. Put the electrics in it and drove it. And it's a very quick car. It doesn't look that quick on the track from the perspective, but if I was to bring it down a little bit, the camera, which I'll do in the future, it does look much faster. Let's see if we can clean these wheels up. Bring you down. Bring you down. There we go. So the track that we run on here is best suited to the slicks, the slick tyres. So these are the Panther slick tyres. Give her a nice cleaner. So I hope to go back to the track next week and have a bit of a blast there. funny with the tyres and stuff these days that you got to use stuff traction. So you clean your tyres after every run. But I will admit that once you put the traction compound on the tyres, the grip is just huge. The buggy's nice, it doesn't take that much cleaning. Back to the truck. So I gave the truck a good clean. Let's move some of this stuff over here. So, a lot of people use simple green to do a lot of their cleaning of the vehicles. But in Australia, there's some simple green, but it's not green, it's orange. And thereto some changes or something going on which is preventing the green stuff. So there's still a few things I'd like to change and maintain on this one. So I've got a few spare parts coming because I need them now. And I'm going to put some ball studs in that have the hex head, so it makes it easier. What I find with the Kyosho ball studs is once you pop them on and off a few times, which you have to do during maintenance, which I've had to do a few times, they, like, it just doesn't, it feels just, like that feels really crap, like there's something loose. That feels really, really bad actually. So I want to try and tighten up the steering in it a little bit. And change some of the, I got new ball studs, these things coming in. So once I sort of get everything sorted, I just want to replace them and hope that they don't pop off much. So they don't pop off a lot, but they do pop off a little bit. Toothbrush, one of the greatest cleaning tools invented. Maybe not for teeth, but for anything. I want to get some stuff to make the plastic look a bit cleaner as well. I guess the front's all coming off. Yeah, so a bit of a weakness on these cars is underneath here. There's like two screws that sort of hold it here, and when you have a hit, it kind of creates a fracture point. And once it sort of bends and flexes, it will soon break. And on the track that you were just looking at, there's a couple of sort of large jumps, which don't look that large on camera, but when you're trying to jump them, they look kind of large. And learning to jump them, you tend to crash a fair bit, and it takes a lot of impact on the front, and it sort of snaps, and there's a hinge pin here that holds stuff together that's not held in by anything, which I've lost twice, and it's come out twice, and the first time it was found, the second time it wasn't found, so I got to buy another part, which is $13, that's a definite weakness, and something I'm sort of disappointed with the car is how easy it is to lose a small part, and how easy this part breaks. You look at other cars driving along the tracks, and they just go smash, 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 and they just keep bouncing up around. With this thing, I'm always scared when I'm driving it that something's going to break. So I've brought broken front shock tower, broken arm, which definitely was my fault. The shock tower, I think it's just the way it landed may have broke it, but normally you wouldn't expect shock towers to break that easy. Like the front stuff I can expect to break, but it's just a bit of a weakness how this one's made. Other than that, it's been pretty consistent. I think I may have busted a diff that I rebuilt, or there was a sensor wire issue on my motor. But I've changed the sensor wire, and I believe that's fixed the main part of the problem. So I think what I thought was a problem, the diff, I think it was something different. So the diff seems to be holding up. So I got the, let's see if you can see in there. So I've got the MIP puck system. Where are you? That's a better shot there. So you can see the MIP puck system in there. Yeah, and because I was going through diffs, I had a couple of bits and pieces, and I rebuilt a diff when I switched it from rear motor to mid motor, and I built a new diff with some parts that I bought. And I think I thought that I stuffed the diff, and then I rebuilt it again with the Kyosho standard parts, and then I think I stuffed the diff again by having it too loose. And then I rebuilt it again. So in Australia, I misunderstood something when I was first trying to learn about it, and I thought that there was a stock racing class for this, a 17.5 system, because there was definitely one for the buggies. And so I set the car up with a 17.5 motor, and I bought the MIP puck system for the 17.5. And I then realised that no, that's not the case. There's basically no restrictions here in Australia. They don't give a shit what motor you run, unless you're in a competition, which is 10.5. And so I was kind of a little bit sort of set back. But because I thought that I stuffed my diffs, all that I had left was an MIP diff. And so I put the MIP diff with a 17.5 aluminium shaft on it, and I'm running a 7.5 turn motor. So the diff setup and the arms are set up for a stock motor, and I've got a mod motor in there. So I've got the power turned down. I'm just being real gentle with it, and I need to order some more parts to rebuild it, but it looks like I need to change the pucks in it. So I've got 2 sets of pucks, and I'm just being real gentle with it. So the diff is still working after a few hours of practice driving. The pucks need to be replaced, which is normal. Yeah, so I'm hoping next Friday to get back out on the track and have some good practice with this. I'll have some spare parts. I should have a new front bumper and a spare front bumper. And yeah, I'll get back out there and keep practicing. Have a bit of a clean. Yeah, so I'm kind of enjoying getting into the RC cars, so I've done them before, so I kind of know what they're like. And I like sort of, you know, doing work on them, changing them and stuff like that. So I bought this car as a second-hand roller, and it was in rear motor, so I've converted it to mid motor, and I've added a few bits and pieces to it to just for fun and stuff like that. So hopefully the car's going quite well. So I'm going to consider seeing what I can do about bringing more weight to the back of the car to give it a bit more traction. So it's got a lot of steering, so in RC terms it's got too much steering, I think they say. So I run the packs. Let's see if we can get in there a little bit closer. So I run the packs like this, but I've seen online where they run them sideways, which means I'd have to cut a heap of the chassis out to be able to fit them like that. Run that thing. There you go, run that thing sideways. So I wonder what would happen if I put that there. So I kind of set it up so I could put both batteries in it. So the buggy will only take the small batteries, but this will take both. These are the saddle packs, and this is called a shorty. So I didn't really want to cut my chassis up because I don't have any tools to do it cleanly. Don't want to go back to rear motor. So I'm just trying to work out what to do with the batteries. Because man, you would have to cut out a heap of the plastic in that chassis to be able to fit those in sideways. A heap. Oh, I'll think about it. But with these battery packs, I could lose 80 grams of weight. So I'm thinking maybe how to do this. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Me just bubble on. I'll see you later.